Hello! How's everyone doing? Welcome to another stream of Ghost Trick. We are in chapter 14, I would like to say. Is the sound on? I think the sound is off. God damn it, it keeps happening. I think it might be a problem with the capture card, yeah. Let's see if I can fix that a little bit. So yesterday, we found out that the justice minister is being manipulated by someone. Camilla got kidnapped because she was mistaken for. Yeah, now there is sound. She was mistaken for the justice minister's daughter. Not really clear how. And she was taken to Camilla's old house. Definitely not a coincidence, but it's not really clear why, because the two organization members who took her there say that the other party is the one who chose that location. Why? Who's the other party? We don't know. And meanwhile, Lynn went to the park to retrieve the music box that Camilla hid there before getting kidnapped. And she's saying something happened in the park. So now we're about to go there and see what's up. All right, it's chapter 14, 1:28 a.m. Dempsey Park, the site of the little lady Camilla's abduction tonight. That sentence just feels odd. Like, the site of. Yeah, just. And the place where an important piece of evidence, the music box, was hidden. And remember, this is the park where Lynn was held hostage 10 years ago. I wonder why our lady detective is looking so dejected. At least she isn't dead. But what did she find out? And also, I fixed my chair today. I got the part that I needed by contacting the manufacturer, and they sent it over to me. It cost me £10, including shipping, so not too bad. Hopefully it doesn't break on me. But I love the fact that the chair is higher. So my arm should hurt less. Well, my wrist should hurt less. Okay, so let's have a look. We were in the park here before with that detective, and this is the car. We can't look to the left. So let's travel. I think they're doing that on purpose. Huh? What's he doing here? La 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 la. Let me spend a moment's time with you, my love. The world will not end if the food delivery is a little late. La la la. A little late. It's already ice cold. Okay, we need to wait for him to swing. What? Okay, there we go. Hey Josh, how's it going? I haven't seen you streaming in a while. I don't know whether that's because my Twitch is not doing notifications properly or you just haven't been streaming. Let's close this umbrella so it falls. We're gonna need to open it back up so it falls again. Nope. The fuck? What is wrong with Automod? Here is what it says. Held the message for reason, identity. Allow will post it to chat. The fuck? Oh, and when I said allow, and now it's saying waifu has been added to the permitted term. Why was that banned? That's bizarre. And this one, the same thing. I think the plural is stored separately. What? Yeah, Automod is a joke. Automod is really a joke. Let me see if I can do something. Okay. I don't know why it was doing that. Automod is really, really bizarre. I think, what was it? There was one time that, what was I typing? And it just, yeah, when I typed, in your channel, I typed engage and that was banned. I don't understand Automod at all. And there you go. You're now a mod. You have responsibilities. Let's spin this. Ah, okay. Damn it, I hate spinning things. Well, if you do see a bot that posts, feel free. Ooh, I got this thing spinning pretty fast. I didn't even put much effort into it. This has quite a bit of power and speed for a piece of playground equipment. I can just imagine all the poor kids who get sent flying all over the park. Never heard of that bot. Alright, let's move over here. Finally, we got to her. Dialogue time.
Oh, there you are, Cecil.
Hey, TF. I am on chapter 14. This is just the very beginning of chapter 14. I think I'm gonna push to finish it today. I think there are, if I recall correctly, it was 18 chapters. The final 2 chapters are heavy in dialogue, so that might take a little longer than I'd like. How have you been doing?
Oh, there you are, Cecil.
From your dejected expression, I gather you didn't find what you were looking for.
Right, I can't find the music box anywhere. But I found something else instead. Something horrible.
I don't know. When I was trying to remind myself how long it was, I looked online and people were like, oh, it's 8 hours. I streamed this longer than 8 hours. But then again, I have been talking to people. I've been reading everything out loud. And that would take time. Yeah, I think I remember what chapter 15 is. I'm also a person who hasn't played this game in 10 years. So a few things like, I remember this was a solution, but the step I'm doing it in is wrong.
But I found something else instead. Something horrible.
And also, if I have a small brain, then I pass it on to you. So there you go. Oh, thanks, LTF. I put in a shit ton of effort for the Neo stream. I plan on continuing that at some point. The funny thing is, a lot of the stuff I covered was shown in Neo 2 afterwards. So maybe at some point I will redo it. Once I finish the first Neo, I think I'm gonna do the same for the second game. And then have a whole series or something. And by the way, I've been saying I'm gonna do that since the first Neo Alpha. I said, yeah, I'm gonna do a stream where I focus on history. They are not doing a good job of covering the history. And I spent years, only did it just before Neo 2 release. I have a document on my PC that's, I don't know, like 50,000 words on the Neo history. It was a lot of work because I was looking at sources to confirm any information I had. And I was trying to look up some other facts, look up any pictures, and if I finish the first Neo history document, it's pretty much as long as a PhD thesis. So maybe I should have pursued history or something. I don't know, I'm not a historian. I haven't studied history since I was 15? So over half my life gone since then. And I know what you mean about the game slowing down and then wanting you to be an idiot so the game can go, oh no, actually the real thing is that. And then they spend ages explaining something you already deduced hours ago. It's not fun. I've heard a lot of people who wrote theses on video games. I remember, what was it? 2 years ago or so, there was some person who, I think their PhD thesis was related to streaming, and then they did the thesis defense as a stream. I think she passed. I'm not sure. And back then people were like, oh, thesis defense online, that's kind of not really a serious thing. And now it's pretty common because no one can attend it.
But I found something else instead. Something horrible.
Horrible? What is it?
There, in the grass. You better see for yourself.
Hey, another dead body. It looks like a dead body.
I nearly died when I saw it.
Why didn't you? You've died repeatedly. What's stopping you this time?
And I suppose now that we found it, we can't just leave it there, can we?
Nope, I suppose not. The detectives in this game are incompetent. And I still can't get over the fact that she is a suspect in a crime, and they have video evidence, but they're letting her run around like, oh, I'm gonna go pick up a box from the park. Okay, go right ahead. Then again, you know, it's just like real life. Videos don't really mean much with cops. So it's like you, to come looking for a music box and find a dead body instead. To be fair, if everywhere you go, a body shows up, you are the problem, not anyone else.
What can I say? I'm a detective.
Meaning?
Well, a detective goes over everything with a fine-tooth comb, right? So there you go.
Fine-tooth comb or none, you were bound to run across it. I mean, it is pretty obvious.
Anyway, go on, Cecil. Get to it.
What am I, your bloodhound? Okay, if I recall correctly, this chapter will introduce some new mechanic-ish. What voice do we give this guy? Stop the park from being turned into a housing site. Protect the park, the rock of the gods. You there! You're talking to me, aren't you? I have some leaflets for you. Leaflets I know you'll be very interested in. I urge you to peruse it thoroughly. Examine it in detail. Never mind that right now. Do you remember your name? My name. My name. What does my name matter when there are more important things to worry about? Okay. Come on now, and study these tracks with me, my brother. Come and learn about the Rock of the Gods with me. The night is no longer young. As a matter of fact, daybreak is approaching. But we are young. Look, I don't have time to get involved in your way of life. But I am interested in your way of death. So let's go back to 4 minutes before your death. Alright, let's see how he died. And so, I made up my mind. I resolved to live here in this park and defend it. Okay, and what does that have to do with this Rock of the Gods you mentioned? You still don't appear to understand. It's written quite clearly in the 4th leaflet, in great detail. Excuse me, but I have to use the restroom. Yeah, I remember that. I'm coming! Just hold on! I'll be right there!
I've located the target, Beauty. A girl of the right age, coming out of the right apartment building at the right time. Yes, my dear. I'll ever so gently nab her and come back right to your side. Yeah, good evening, young lady. Won't you come with me?
Why didn't she run when she knew they were there to kidnap her? Seriously. She had the time to hide the box and stand there listening to the rest of the phone call. Oh, gods! What do I do? What should I do? I have to do something!
What in the world? What just happened?
Oh, that's Mino.
Mino.
Mino alive anymore. Ha ha ha. Mino the mascot. The symbol of Tepsic Park.
Forget about the name of that big creepy lump of concrete. I'm talking about the way it changed direction. Did you see that?
Yes, I did. We witnessed it with our own eyes. The power of the Rock of the Gods. There was the power of the gods. The power of the gods saved that little girl.
And then that same power very, very deliberately crushed you instead.
I like this power. Yes, precisely. That is called the mischief of the gods.
Was it the mischief of the gods, or was it a ghost trick? But nah, it couldn't have been a ghost trick. No ghost trick could change the direction of something that heavy in midair. But wait a minute. What if there was somebody with much greater powers than me?
The plot thickens.
Look at that. There's another flame besides mine.
Oh, so that is the flame of a god, is it? But hold on. Your spirit is a flame too, isn't it?
Yeah, so?
Ah, pardon me, but are you a god?
Sure. I sincerely doubt it. At the last minute, that big lump of concrete made a huge swing to one side. That was probably that flame's doing. Who could it be?
I definitely believe it's either a god or somebody god related.
Maybe I better try talking to this person.
I wonder who it is. Let's find out. I do know who it is.
What the? This person with much greater powers than me. It's you?
Hey! Cesar!
Oh my, it's
Cesar!
you look well. For being dead.
Did you see what I did? I did it! I tried really hard and I did it! I saved Miss Camilla! Are you telling me I was done in by a puppy dog?
Miss Hall, what's going on? How did you get the powers of the dead?
I'm glad you asked. I after Miss Camilla went out and you left. I worked like crazy to make my own path, and I did it. Yeah, this dog was pretty popular amongst people. Now I'm the kind of person who is like, oh fuck. I'm the author on the other side, complaining about the noise the dog makes. That's what 10 years of aging does to you. You go from liking a character to wanting that character to shut up. How do they never lock their doors? Well, so yesterday, 2 days ago, I took out the rubbish at like 5 p.m. and realized I didn't even shut the flat door until like 11 p.m. So, well, yeah. I can't really complain about them. Then again, there was a time years ago where I forgot my keys outside the door for a day. Yeah, I shouldn't complain about them. Nope, sounds reasonable. And then I followed Miss Camilla out into the big wide world. And then, here at this bar, I found her at last. Yes, you guessed it. I barked. You bet I did. And I went running after her too. And then I guess I died. And then I was unconscious for a little while. How did she not hear the barking? When I came to, it was all over. Poor Miss Camilla. Crushed under that big scary lump.
Oh, what have I done? I'm so sorry, little lady. Please forgive me.
Miss Camilla! I had to rescue Miss Camilla. It was up to me. I cried out from the depths of my heart. And then... I can't tell you how surprised I was, but I bet you understand, right?
Better than probably anybody else could.
And I remember what you did for me, how you saved me.
So, you went back, right? Back to 4 minutes before that little lady's death?
You bet I did.
Yes, my dear. I'll ever so gently nab her and come right back to your side.
Yes, I didn't misread that sentence this time. I noticed I misread it last time, but I didn't say anything. And no one said anything. Maybe because no one realized it. Now's my chance, I thought. I saw the core.
I don't know. It looks pretty far.
Stretch out my paw towards the core. Ooh, how I felt at that moment. I'd love for you to be able to feel it too. Go ahead, Cecil. Go ahead and try it for yourself. Made it.
I can't believe it. How could you connect over such a great distance?
Well, they don't call me Missa for nothing.
So then you manipulated that Mino thing and throw it aside.
Right on top of my head. Well, no, actually.
Huh?
Can't manipulate things like that. You can't, Cecil.
You can't? Then how did you?
I didn't know what to do. Then I happened to see something out of the corner of my eye. And it had a core too. A single leaf hanging from the tree. I tried reaching out to the leaf. By the way, how is the sound balance? I adjusted the game audio a little bit earlier. Too quiet, too loud, just right. Seems like it's okay. Alright, good to know. Sometimes, like, even when I'm streaming the same game, I don't change any setting. One day it's slightly off, another day it's fine. What in the world? I can't manipulate things, but apparently I can swap them. As long as the two things have the same shape, that is. Swap things with the same shape? Go ahead and try it. Touch the swap button. That's incredible. So that's how you saved your mistress, is it? And that's how I became caught up in this. Is it? I'm very sorry. My powers were too meager. Meager? Because you see, I saw one more. Yeah, that's thing. I remember solving it with that. I happened to notice one more core. There was something with the exact same shape stuck in the branches of a tree. Hey, you're right. If Mino could be swapped again with that, then the disaster wouldn't have to rain down on my head. But what is that thing? It's too big to be a leaf. Whatever it is, I'd much prefer it on my head than Mino. So why didn't you swap them, Missile? I couldn't. I can stretch out my paw a little further than you can, Cecil. But this was just too far for me. I couldn't reach. To be fair, he deserves it. He's too annoying. I must admit, it's a fascinating spectacle of death, if I do say so myself. Kept trying over and over, seeing if there was anything I could do. I bet there is something you can do now. Huh? If we work together, you and me. Cecil, you think so? I don't plan on letting anybody die in front of me tonight. Do you think you could help me? Of course! Naturally! So we're going to drop that mean thing in a different spot. Okay, let's try it. Let's go back again to 4 minutes before. Hey, let's rewind. Let me take a throat drop while I'm at it. My throat is already loose. Like, this is rough on my voice. It's why I don't do 2 games that involve a lot of reading in a row. And yes, I know my voice acting is terrible, but I'm doing it anyway. I find it more fun than reading everything in one single voice. I used to do that at some point. And before that, I used to not read anything at all. Why isn't this unwrapping? Throw drop. Open up. Thank you. Alright, let's get started. 4 minutes from now, you'll swap Mino with the leaf. And then you have to swap Mino with something else. Something with the same shape. Oh, I believe that's a rugby ball. Okay, rugby ball, huh? But with the rugby ball where it is now, Missile can't reach it. So that means I have to move it closer somehow. Looks like you and I will have to work together on that one, Missile. Okay, I'm ready. Whenever you want to use my swap trick, just touch the dog icon. That way you'll be able to control me. And then if you touch the Cecil icon, control will come back to me. By the way, you can switch between us with select too. Select, huh? I'll remember that. Okay, let's try it. Together we can stop Mino from hurting anybody. Okay. So, our goal for now is to find a way to bring that hand egg to a spot that's closer. Well, would you look at that? There sure are a whole lot of round things around here. Oh boy! That means it's time for me, right? Oh boy! My hair is also round.
Let's see. To use Missile's power, I just touched the Missile icon. Let's try it and see what happens.
Okay, we swap that. We still can't reach it though. Now we can talk. I don't want to talk to you. Look at this funny flattened ball! Not a ball. I refuse to admit that's a ball. It's the same shape as that horrible minnow. It's too far too far to swap from here. Even this ball is starting to look horrible to me.
We have to find a way to get this ball closer to that Mino thing.
Knock it down from the tree, I say.
There must be something we can do.
Oh yeah, he does move here. Once he starts spinning, we can move. Yeah. God damn it, come on. Nope. There we go. I hate the spinning things. I can never time it well. There we go. Let's rustle these. I think our goal is to drop this ball. Missile is there. I mean, missile is there. I don't think we can move it. Should it say close up here? Okay, now it says close. Yep. If I recall correctly, maybe we have to use this as a proper seesaw or something. No, it has to be the wheel. Because it's heavier, I think. Well, not I think. I know it's heavier. Basketball is not as heavy as a tire, so yeah. I wish I could, Okay, Yes, yes. Oh, God. No, no, no. Leave me. Damn it. Let me skip this. Can you please? Yes, thank you. Too early. There we go. Spin faster. Over here. Oh God, this again. No. Yeah, this is one of those games that could use a fast forward button. Okay, we are gonna do this. Over here. Close it. And open. Ah, nope. Yeah, I saw the seesaw. Yeah, I messed that one up. Yeah, the problem is, I think all it does is really put you earlier in the game without acknowledging a previous attempt. So... every game should let you fast forward anything from the first attempt, not even from a second one or something. This again. Ah, yes, I think I... I wish there was an option that lets you just move instead of... instead of swapping all the time. I forget, can we actually move stuff halfway through? Oh god, no. Nope, I can't skip it. Okay, hold on. Yeah, I think I can swap once it's here. I should be able to swap the... Maybe? Yeah, I think so. Swap this to that. Swap the baseball with this. The issue, I think, is... yeah, there is an element of trial and error in some instances. I still think it did it better than... I'm not sure if you've played Isomnium by the same guy who worked on the Zero Escape series. That one involves a lot more trial and error. A lot more. And the idea is the puzzles. You go into an area that has a time limit, and you can perform specific actions. It's not even like a real area, it's in somebody's mind. So it follows its own rules and logic. So most of the time, you're not actually sure what does what, and you just end up trying because the rules are not really made explicit, because there are no rules. It's somebody's mind. They can imagine anything. So you end up just doing trial and error all the time. I played it, but I didn't actually stream it. Maybe I should have. But that was an issue for me with that game. This one does have trial and error to an extent, but not as bad. If I remember well, I should be able to swap, yeah, the basketball. Okay, hurry up, buddy.
There, we moved the ball. What do you think, Miss Al?
With the ball there. I think I can do it.
In just a few seconds, you'll swap Mino with the leaf. And then from there, you can swap Mino with one more time. The final moment is near, Miss Al. Are you ready?
You bet. To me, I still haven't changed my mind about the best detective game, which is Return of the Obra Dinn. Oh, it is there. Okay, watch me, Cecil. Here I go.
The finishing touches. You can do it, Cecil. Swap Mina with that ball.
You know, actually, that's a good idea about instead of a word to describe what the action does, having a ghost animation would be nice, because you had a whole screen up top to do any animation that you needed to do. And they don't need to like show explicitly how it interacts with other objects, but they can just show how the object moves or what something could do. Obra Dinn is the best detective game mostly because it eliminates, well, to an extent, it eliminates any hope of using trial and error to resolve stuff. So let's say you're playing a detective game. At some point you have a question that you have to answer, like whether it's a bit like Ace Attorney or whatever. Like when you're presenting the evidence, say for example, and you have to present an evidence. You look at your evidence, say you have 10 items, 7 of them will be, you know, completely stupid to present, and you'll never present them. And then the other 3, one of them, if you've been paying attention, you can eliminate. And then you're kind of stuck between 2 and you pick one or the other. Obra Dinn doesn't do that because the way it does it is if you try and guess with every answer, you're gonna spend years playing that game. Because the only way to really finish it is if you get all the answers correct at the same time, in a way. I don't want to spoil how the mechanic is, because I think it's a lot more fun when you try it for yourself, which is why I'm being very vague. But it's an extremely good game, one of the best indie games I've played in a while. I should have streamed it, I didn't. I was kind of worried about streaming it because sometimes you get people who tell you the answers all the time. It's really, really good. Out of the indie games that I really enjoyed recently, and I would wholeheartedly recommend, is Obra Dinn and Hollow Knight. A few other games are good. Celeste was really good, but I never actually finished it because the way I played Celeste was almost 2 years ago now. I had somebody with me who were playing it on the Switch. He used the left Joy-Con, I used the right Joy-Con, and we played the game that way. We beat through 2 chapters and halfway through a 3rd chapter, so we were actually doing far better than expected with that method. We beat Breath of the Wild that way, so we can do it. I'm pretty sure Celeste is beatable with 2 players using half controllers each, so. Hollow Knight is incredible, like a lot of content for an indie game and for the genre itself. Most games in the genre don't last as long as Hollow Knight. I really enjoyed it. I love the game, but I also hate it because I enjoyed that genre. But after playing Hollow Knight, any game in that genre feels lacking. After it, I played Bloodstained, which was good, but not as good as Hollow Knight. I replayed Symphony of the Night, which was good, not as good as Hollow Knight. I tried a couple of games in the genre, and just nothing really scratched that itch after Hollow Knight. Okay, let's jump back.
Swap Mina with that ball.
Yay, we did it. is that? My head has been spared. Truly, that was a try worthy of the gods.
Now Mino is right where he belongs.
We did it again, didn't we? Didn't we? Now nobody has to die.
Except for one brave little somebody.
Huh?
I'm talking about you, Miss Hall.
Oh, me? I guess you're right. I'm still dead, aren't I?
So now let's go back and save your life.
Wait a minute.
What is it?
Now that I think about it, I think I want to stay dead a little longer.
What?
Much longer, maybe. When I was alive, I couldn't even help Miss Camilla when she was in trouble. I want to be able to protect Miss Camilla. And to do that, I need these powers I have now.
I see.
Perfectly understandable. Even I wish I had powers like that.
Hey, we just saved you. Don't wish your life away already.
Oh, of course. You're right.
Okay, Miss Hall, have it your way. By the way, Mr. Reckless Youth, there's a certain detective who needs that music box you found. When we get back to the present time, could you give it to her?
Certainly. You have my word. Let's go back then, to the present.
And so Camilla ended up in the hands of the kidnappers. Weren't able to change that part. Len listened to my story without saying anything.
I'm trying to remember what the other games I wanted. I played to scratch that Hollow Knight itch. There was Yoku's Island Express. It's a mixture of Metroid-like and pinball. Very strange description, but it's actually what the game is. It mixes the two genres well. I was never really a huge fan about pinball. I only played it on PC because there were no other games sometimes apart from a Minesweeper. Minesweeper is just very easy once you know the idea. But Yoko's Island Express was not bad. I finished it. I also tried the Mummy Demastered, I think it was called. For a game that's linked to a film, it's not bad at all. Very straightforward, but it's good. La Mulana is... I never played La Mulana, but there was a streamer I followed back in the day. He stopped streaming. But I saw him stream La Mulana 2. I watched it and I knew that game was not for me. I love the puzzles, but the gameplay itself felt just masochistic. And then basically the stream turned into him playing and me offering ideas and things, and we solved every puzzle in the game that way. The puzzles are good. The problem is they require some knowledge of mythology. If you're lacking on that, then it's gonna be very tricky. And a lot of the stuff is just very obscure, to be honest. There are things you will end up trying random solutions just to see if they work. And there are a few things where if you do them, you end up questioning whether you're meant to do that or it was just a way to abuse the system.
I'm sorry. I wish there was something else I could have done.
No, you did the best you could. I'm sure she's all right, after all.
After all, she has me! The bosses are rough too. Like, I would watch some bosses and it just feels like, it doesn't look fun to me, the gameplay. The puzzles, I'm fine with. The gameplay, not so much. I would be interested in seeing a no-hit run of that game because the way it's designed, it feels like a lot of spots just want you to die. Not to test your skill, but just to screw with you.
Missile, are you there? Missile, are you there?
Miss Lynn, leave Miss Camilla to me. I know I don't look like much right now, but I'm sure I can help her.
Missile.
Miss Lynn! And he was gone with the wind, never to be seen again.
I'm going to leave it up to Missile.
It kind of looks like Missile is being left up to the wind. Ooh. I have something to give you. Stop the park from being turned into a housing site. Protect the park, the Rock of the Gods. Aren't you forgetting your promise? Oh, pardon me. Pardon me. My apologies. This is for you.
Oh,
That's a massive pocket. It's another dimension in there.
you kept the music box safe, didn't you? Thank you.
Not at all. I was only doing what the Rock of the Gods would have wanted. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Very appropriate expression, Cecile. Very appropriate.
He's mesmerized by my beauty. Hey, the cat's not allowed to get your tongue.
Yeah, the game has a few interesting lines once you go back and look at them. And again, I'm not explicitly saying what the twists are in this game because just in case somebody hasn't played it yet. Excuse me, but are you? No, it couldn't be.
Have we met before?
Aren't you that little girl from that time? I'll never forget it. It was 10 years ago, in this park. Dude, you remembered a little girl for 10 years and you could never forget her? Lynn, get away from this creep. Reminds me of Horizon Zero Dawn. There is a guy who meets Aloy as a child. And then years later, when Aloy is an adult, he sees her and he goes, "Oh, I was expecting you. Here, some armor that fits you perfectly." Which demonstrates the guy was fantasizing about you for years and years and years. And you could imagine you could imagine what size you needed for the armor. It was very worrying. Very, very worrying idea. And she never acknowledges it. She's like, "Oh, who are you? Oh, yes, I remember you." It doesn't make any sense.
10 years ago? Are you talking about?
What is he talking about? Here, in this park, the gods surely control fate. Today, 10 years from that day, we meet once again. If that is in the power of the gods, then what else is it?
It could just be a coincidence.
But apparently you know our lady detective here. Could you tell us about it? About what happened 10 years ago? Yes, yes, of course. I was actually about to do just that.
What's this Rock of the Gods you keep mentioning?
Don't you know it? It's right there, in front of us.
He's dead, Jim.
Missile.
He certainly flew like one.
Wait a minute. You say GODS, but do you mean DOGS?
Of course not. Don't be silly. This is no time for ridiculous world games. You are standing just above the Rock of the Gods now. Take a good look at that monument.
Monument?
Rock of the Gods, Temsic Park.
The Rock of the Gods.
The rock is buried in the ground right there. It's been there these 10 years. Ever since that day, it flew down from the heavens and showed us a miracle. If I could do it, I would give this guy Winnie the Pooh voice, but I can't imitate Winnie the Pooh. So we're gonna settle for that voice until he leaves the game.
A miracle.
So this rock you've been talking about is a meteorite?
Precisely. It dropped from the sky on that day 10 years ago. Yes, of course. Surely you know all about it.
Me?
That day, I just happened to be passing through this park. I had no idea that day would change my destiny. The sun was going down, and through the gloom, I heard the scream of a little girl.
Now just calm down and drop that weapon.
Stay back! If you come any closer, I'll shoot her. How many times have I read that line? The position of the shadows is just very telling. Especially on the left-hand side. The shading more like it. I peeked out fearfully from the bushes and saw some shadowy figures. I didn't see the face of the criminal clearly. I knew I should do something to help, but I couldn't move. The tension was so thick. It was painful, just when I couldn't stand it any longer. That's when it happened. The sky suddenly burned bluish white. When it crashed into the ground, the meteorite gave off a shower of beautiful fragments. And then I saw it. One of those beautiful fragments pierced into the criminal's back. The judgment of the gods was brought down on the park that day. Years ago, the little girl that was you was saved by the Rock of the Gods.
Oh my. I can't believe it.
The Rock of the Gods was given the name Tamsik, and still today, it lies sleeping deep in the park's earth.
I never knew about this Tamsik. I always thought Detective Jard was the one who saved me. I guess now I don't have any reason to look up to him. Maybe I can just let him die? He's not really my hero. This Rock of the Gods is my hero.
You were very young then, and you passed out from the shock of being taken hostage. Of course, you wouldn't remember. So Jard has been taking credit for this. Or we are listening to some crazy guy and we assume he's telling the truth for some reason. But that's funny. A huge incident like that should have caused quite a stir. It's not really funny. It's strange you never heard of it, Lynn.
It is, isn't it? But now that I think about it, remember I didn't want to think about what happened. I avoided the news, and I never came back to this park again. That's why I didn't know anything about it.
The meteorite was named Tamsik, after the name of this park that it fell in. And then the Rock of the Gods was forgotten. Now, an awful thing is happening. They're talking about turning the park into a housing site. I'll never forget the miracle I witnessed that day. And so I've taken up residence in this park, and I'm trying to appeal to the people. Protect the park, the Rock of the Gods. That is my mission.
I see. I'm taking you with me, Miss Al.
And now she's gonna carry a dead dog with her for the rest of the game. Would be a perfect way to threaten people. Look, I'm heartless. I killed a dog and I'm carrying the body around. I can do anything to you, so you better watch it.
So 10 years ago, the little girl that was Lynn wasn't aware of the meteorite. I get that, but Detective Jard, on the other hand, there's no way he didn't know about this Tamsik thing. And if he knew...
And the man died. I took his life.
What was that confession of his all about?
He just enjoys confessing to shit he was not responsible for. We're seeing a pattern here. He wants to be a murderer so badly. He claimed to have killed 2 people when he hasn't.
The Rock of the Gods that fell from the sky 10 years ago changed the destinies of many people's lives, like the ripples on a pond when a pebble is dropped in. With every answer I get, I learn about a new mystery. Will I be able to break the chain of mysteries before dawn? Anyway, now that we have the evidence we need, we decided to meet up again at the minister's office. Besides, there are a few things I want to ask Detective Zhao.
Massive pocket again.
We found the music box, Detective Jard.
Good job, Lynn. I knew you would. Once everything had been resolved, I had wanted you to give this to him.
Him? You mean Inspector Cabanella, right?
I don't suppose he'll ever forgive me.
Detective Jard.
Now then, let's get this thing open. There's a certain knack to doing it, you know?
Hulk smash! Close enough.
He calls that a knack? Looks more like brute strength to me.
I didn't actually remember that he just used force.
Here you are. You should find scorch marks on the grip.
Scorch marks?
When Camilla built her contraption, she used a special kind of string. It's the kind magicians use. It burns up in an instant and disappears.
Why would little Camilla use something like that?
I don't know. Maybe because she's a detective's daughter. Not leaving any evidence behind and all that. Ha ha.
Dude, not a good look. Not a good look for a cop. So you know how not to leave any evidence when you murder someone. And also, like, they should have been able to look at the markings on the bullet and could tell that one of the shots is not from the detective's gun. Hey Domo, how's it going? Did you manage to snag that PS5? Because I hear pre-orders were going up earlier, well, yesterday, in a way. It's past midnight now. I'm surviving. I finally got the part I needed for my chair because I broke it about last week. And they ended up sending the part I need for £10, including shipping, so it's good. I was not actually planning on getting the PS5, but someone told me not to buy it because they pre-ordered one for me as a birthday present before my birthday to arrive after my birthday. I'm kind of worried about the release of the PS5, to be honest, because two things happened to the first batch of any console. One, it has a lot of issues that will plague it, and it's better to wait for the second batch. Or it will have some good features that get taken out from the second batch onwards. Sony tends to have the second problem more than the first, especially with backward compatibility. So I don't know. I think the PS5 I'm getting is the digital one. I don't actually know. But honestly, I don't care about the digital or the physical all that much. Sure, I have some PS4 games that are physical. Not a lot, though. I'm trying to remember actually how many PS4. Probably like 4 or 5 at most. Oh, if you think $70 is bad, Delete TF, check out the price in euros. 80 euros. It's terrible. Domo, come on. This is not the optimistic channel. We are cynical over here. Companies don't learn from mistakes. I mean, let's look at the launch of the release date announcement they just did. They didn't mention when prices are gonna, when pre-orders are gonna be available. They didn't confirm the release games, and then people had to wait for Jeff Keighley to announce the stuff. Oh yeah, Brazil is probably the place that gets screwed over the most out of any other country in terms of video games. I heard they just They only just officially released the Switch in Brazil. And the price is apparently $570. Is that right? I have another viewer who is from Brazil, but he lives in the UK. And he's been telling me it's far cheaper for him to buy something here compared to Brazil. The taxes are just ridiculous. I mean, for Brazil, you could argue, yeah, sure, it's because of the taxes, but some of the other countries, the tax doesn't really go towards justifying it at all. Holy shit, 950. How common is it for people to travel outside Brazil to buy a console and then come back? You could probably do that a lot cheaper. Not during a pandemic, probably, but in the normal times, you could probably just fly somewhere else, buy a PS5, come back, and it might still be cheaper than buy it in Brazil. Especially if you go to a country that can let you claim back sale tax if you're buying it for someone outside the country. And I bet there are a lot of people who fly outside Brazil to buy more than one console and then sell it for a profit. But prices in Europe have been a mess because they're selling it for $499 or 499 euros, which is not really the same. But companies, and not to mention actually the video game prices didn't go up for the US between the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4, but they went up by about 10 euros in Europe. I don't really understand the idea behind raising the taxes this much for that. If people are gonna continuously buy from outside, surely it's better to lower the taxes a little bit, attract some investment in the country, and people are happy too. But I don't understand how politicians work or think. Actually, I probably can. Think of the worst thing you could do to the people and do it. In the case report, there was mention of some scorch marks. Who's talking here? Let's assume it was Shout.
When it happened, Camilla was watching from her hiding place. She saw the flame run to the gun, something she naturally didn't include in her design. I took the gun out of the frame and replaced it with a picture.
Yeah, from what I hear, your politicians don't know much about politics either. It's like every continent has a joke of a leader that everyone points to and goes, how is that person in power?
If you remove the picture, you should find scorch marks behind it on the frame too. And those marks should match up with the ones on the gun.
In other words,
it proves the contraption existed there in that room that day.
Technically, it only proves the contraption existed at some point, not necessarily on that day. So, I don't know. You tell me, buddy. And it didn't work the way your little girl intended. Is that right?
Exactly. Some cowardly culprit modified the design. I'm the only one who had access to that house. But of course, it wasn't me.
But that angle was never brought up in court. And so, Mr. Justice Minister, I must call off the execution at this point. Why not check behind the picture first? He's really hand wavy about this thing. Oh, I guess okay. Maybe we won't kill you.
I knew I was right. It wasn't Detective John. Now we can finally prove that.
Well, that means there's only one suspect at the moment, and it's Camilla. So let's arrest Camilla. And there really isn't any evidence to say she didn't plan that. I mean, sure, the game doesn't want you to think that, but I suspect her. Oh, or at least I would, if I didn't play this game before. I don't trust kids. Neither should you.
Thank goodness.
Thank you, Lynn. In those eyes of yours, I see the eyes of that little girl from 10 years ago.
Because they are the same eyes? Thought you're a detective, you're meant to be the smart one.
Cecil, if you hadn't come to my cell tonight, I would be gone by now, without ever having known any of this. This is what I deserve. That's what I told myself in these past 5 years. But things are different now. Thanks to you, my eyes have finally been opened.
Tonight, I've come into contact with a lot of people's lives. I've come into contact with a lot of people's lives that got involved in their fates. And the only reason I was doing it was to regain my own lost memory. But things are different now. We're connected to each other somehow. I just know it. That's why I need to ask you a few more questions in order to find the truth about us. The truth about us sounds like he's trying to set the boundaries for a relationship here.
Fair enough. Fire away.
Cecil told me all about it, Detective Sharp. About the manipulator.
Yes, and it looks like this manipulator really did the number on the minister too.
Please don't pick on the minister. If he dies again, I'm the one who has to save him.
Ooh. Cecil, do you think the minister is having an orgasm? Do you think that's what happened to me too?
What are you talking about, Lynn? Don't tell me. You were manipulated too?
Who's talking here? Cecil? Maybe? There was always a part of me that just couldn't believe it. The image of the one who shot me. I was right, Cecil. But now I see the possibility of a new explanation.
But who is it? And why did they do it? That contraption was a birthday surprise for Camilla's mother, wasn't it?
That's right.
Something's been bothering me about it. I feel like I know that device from somewhere.
No surprise there. You lost your life once tonight because of that machine.
didn't see Detective Zhao?
How can you forget how you died? Well, to be fair, she did die quite a few times. Maybe she forgot a couple.
No, I'm afraid I don't see.
I told Detective Javad about it. Told him about seeing the exact same contraption tonight in a completely different place.
That's very strange indeed. A junkyard on the edge of town. I've never even heard of the place. What's more, I've never told a single soul about that contraption.
You haven't?
That old pigeon guy. Who in the world is he? Detective Jad, you must have heard this name before. Temsik. The meteorite that fell in the park 10 years ago. You were there.
So you found out about that, did you?
I hear that meteorite saved little Lynn's life.
That's right. I couldn't do anything to help Lynn that day.
But in that case, I don't get it. If it's true, doesn't it mean you didn't steal somebody's life away?
What are you talking about?
Detective Jowd, you told me that 10 years ago. The person who killed the perpetrator in the park was you.
What? But it was a meteorite.
I wasn't lying. I stole that man's life away. No question about it. It was entirely my fault. I was just about to shoot him. I would have shot him in the next instant if the meteorite hadn't come. At that point, I was already a murderer.
That's not how it works. Maybe intention to murder, but not a murderer.
That's not true. You were trying to save me.
Lynn, I'm sorry, but I don't think that's really it.
Huh?
On that day, 10 years ago, a different incident happened in another place.
Another place?
Yes, in the police headquarters interrogation room. The worst sort of incident. A suspect who was being questioned escaped.
Wow, I didn't know about that.
And why would you? You were not a cop, you were a child.
I happened to be there in the detective division, so I joined the chase. Fortunately, or I guess unfortunately, I was able to track him down alone in the park. Hold it, right there! I fired a warning shot. I wanted to catch him bad. That warning shot made him panic. At the time, I was a young and green detective.
Literally green.
I was a young and green detective brandishing my sense of justice like a sword. I made him panic and got you involved, Lynn. It was all my fault.
Detective Zhao.
All I could see was my target. I couldn't even see you. I'm so sorry, Lynn.
So the man who grabbed me that day.
These last 10 years, I've never forgotten his face. And then a few years after that, when my wife Alma died in such a mysterious way, I thought it was fate, my punishment for what I had done. I painted pictures in my cell, Nothing but portraits of people's faces. All the faces of the many people I had met in my life and didn't want to forget. And tonight, I finished my last portrait. The final face I wanted to remember. The final face. The face of the man in the park that day.
Wait just a moment. That can be. I saw that painting. I saw the face you painted tonight. It was my face. Are you telling me I was the man in the park that time?
That's right. That face of yours is a face I saw 10 years ago. The face of the man whose life I stole. Of the man who was pronounced dead at the scene.
But hold on, Detective Jacques. That can't be true. I just met Cecil for the first time tonight. And he died right in front of me.
By the way, the name that I know the man in the park that day by isn't Cecil.
What?
From the first minute I laid eyes on you tonight, I've been wondering, who in the world is this guy?
I...
Mr. Minister!
Inspector Cabanella, where are you?
Just be quiet and listen. This is our demand.
What? Demand?
Our demand hasn't changed. The execution must be tonight. Once we've confirmed it's been carried out, we'll release the hostage.
What are you talking about, Inspector Cabanella? And you know it wasn't my daughter who was abducted.
Doesn't really matter who the hostage is. A life is a life.
I used the wrong filter there. Doesn't matter who the hostage is. A life is a life. Even if it's the daughter of a death row prisoner. Once the criminal gets a punishment he deserves, the hostage will go free. Carry out the execution immediately and wait for our call.
What is it, Mr. Minister? You look paler than ever.
What in the world? What's going on? Inspector Cabanella? Oh. The rock of the gods that fell from the sky 10 years ago. I twisted the fates of many people and started the chain of tragic events. And even now, the chain continues to grow even longer. Inspector Cabanella's call proved that to us. The greatest mystery of all has risen to the surface. Who is this me I've been chasing all night? Who am I? I'm even further from knowing that than when I started.
Alright, let's save. That chapter took a while. Let's see. We have been live for about an hour and 40 minutes. Let's take a break. Breaks are good. Stretch your legs. You don't want to sit down for too long. Not good for your back, not good for your legs. Get that blood pumping. I'll be back in a few minutes, so see you in a few. Alright, I'm back. And yeah, the fact that chapter 15 is coming next is one reason why I took a break, because it's quite a heavy chapter in a way, because there are some very interesting developments in it. One good thing about the game I was just thinking of during the break was how the pacing is good in terms of revelations. They do a good job of making it so that you finish a chapter and you go, you know what, I want to continue to find out the rest of the mystery. No chapter leaves you with, oh, here, everything is resolved, let's move on. No. Like even the previous chapter, you could argue, okay, you didn't care about that guy in the park, so saving him wasn't kind of a big deal. And the whole meteorite thing, you go, okay, maybe just it killed the guy, so what? I don't really care. And then they end the chapter by saying that you are not really the man in that portrait. So it does several things pretty well. I could probably criticize parts of the story in a way, but I criticize everything. Replaying it, yeah, I see some flaws here and there, but I still think it's a pretty good, I would describe it as a visual novel in a way. Visual novel with puzzle elements, but it's still kind of a visual novel to me. Certainly up there in terms of visual novels that I've played. I haven't played a lot of them. I tend to get bored with ones that just involve dialogue and no additional thinking, if you want to call it that. Alright, let's jump into chapter 15. 2:55 a.m. Why is the minister in his office at 2:55 a.m.? I mean, now he's held up, but earlier he could have just gone home.
10 years ago, a man named Cecil took a little girl named Lynn hostage. And then was killed by a meteorite fragment.
Yeah, it's one of those games that have a story that links really well with gameplay. The gameplay doesn't feel disjointed at all. Some visual novels might try and give you some gameplay in it, but it doesn't really feel all that connected to the plot in a way. You know, this made me also remember a game called Remember Me. For the most part, it's an action game, but it has a couple of sections where you go into somebody's memory and alter it a little bit, and so you go back to a scene, for example, when somebody was dying, you alter the memory a little bit so that doesn't really happen. And I think that happens in the game like 4 times, but I found it more interesting than the rest of the game. The game itself overall was not that great, but it had a couple of good ideas. The whole going back in time to save somebody reminded me of that. And it also reminds me of Shadow of Memories or Shadows of Destiny, depending on which region you're in. It's a game where in the first minute the protagonist dies, and your goal in the game is to go back and solve the death. Of course, every time you stop that death, you die some other way. It was a fun game for its time. I got it on the PS2, I think. I'm not really sure if if it was released. I think it was released on PC too. It was a fun little game.
Tonight, a man named Sissel met a detective named Lynn at a junkyard on the edge of town, and then was killed by a bullet. The scene I find waiting for me on the other end of the phone line feels like the final nail in the coffin of my lost memory. I see myself.
Okay, now here's a question. Am I gonna keep the same voice for him or try a different voice? I think I'm gonna go with the same voice.
There you are, Commander Sith. Finally.
Sissel, where have you been? My good man. What? We've been looking everywhere for you.
Had a little unfinished business to take care of. Didn't think it would take this long. What about your people? They sure went out of the way to mess me up.
I say, I believe we fulfilled every one of your conditions in our little deal. What right do you have to complain about anything outside our bargain?
We can talk about that when we get together.
This will be our last communication by telephone. We'll arrive in 1 hour. I look forward to seeing you, Sissel.
Dawn is approaching.
Yes, I'm approaching.
The darkness surrounding my own mystery is deep, but I know it's always darkest before the dawn.
Yes. We're nearing the final stages of our little deal, my good man.
Yes, sir. All preparations are complete, sir. And we just had the report, sir. Lights have been spotted, sir.
Have they now? By all means, let me have a look. He spanks that machine like he's spanking somebody's ass. Yes, we are very close.
We will now disconnect from the communication cable and have no service until we arrive, sir.
Very well.
Oh, spank me harder.
Infinitely regenerating grapes.
It was a submarine all along.
Okay, now here is a question. If we've been traveling through the telephone lines, how are we going to that submarine? I mean, sure, you could argue wirelessly, but they explicitly say the telephone lines. And that's why when you're traveling to anywhere, even in the prison, you go to an internal line because that's the one you're connected directly to. It's one of the few plot holes, I would say, in the game. But you could argue, okay, maybe they just phrased it wrong and they just meant communication lines in general. The problem is with wireless, it's not really a physical thing. And so far, we've only been moving between physical objects. yeah, even with the wireless, it doesn't really justify the. I don't know. I don't remember all the finer details of the plot, but part of me is not really sure. That the fact that it's a submarine was integral to the story, but I could be misremembering it. I mean, they can't really extend the cable to the submarine because it's how long will the cable have to be? I mean, it was in the seabed, so presumably the submarine is very deep underwater. Even wireless communication will be tricky there.
Nice try, Inspector Cabanela. But you could never stop me. See ya, sucker. So, that submarine guy and his people have a deal going with me, do they? If that's the case, they probably aren't the ones who killed me, right? Anyway, there's definitely something behind the inspector's death. I think I better talk to him.
But I don't wanna. He can stay dead. I'm fine with that.
Hey, do you think you could wake up for me? Oh boy, still unconscious, eh? I guess he hasn't been dead for very long then. I'll just go ahead and go back to 4 minutes before his death. I'm a little nervous about what I might see there though. If that's where I'm gonna find my answers, I can't run away from it.
You know, I kind of find it weird that some of the dialogue lines are meant to be internal monologue. But here, the whole thing, he's talking to himself. So why isn't everything highlighted in blue? It just feels odd. It doesn't really change anything because there are no secrets in the ghost world, but still, it just feels weird. Once the criminal gets the punishment he deserves, the hostage will go free. Carry out the execution immediately and wait for our call.
That's a good boy. Gee, a hostage sure is an handy thing. It gives me complete control over the top police inspector in the country. Oh, what's the matter? All those broken bones? Smart a bit. What's it like to feel pain? Does it make you feel alive?
Why are you doing this?
Now, is that any kind of question for a top inspector to ask? Isn't it obvious? Revenge, of course. Revenge on all the people who stole my life away 10 years ago.
Don't be ridiculous. It was a meteorite that stole your life. Or have you forgotten that?
Wrong. I was murdered by all of you. Detective Zhaot would chase me down and force me into a corner, even though I was innocent. Lynn, that girl was right there when I was running.
Lynn, she was just an innocent girl playing in the park.
If that brat hadn't been there, I never would have thought of taking us hostage.
That's the most self-centered garbage I've ever heard.
Finally, you, Inspector Cabanela.
Me?
If you hadn't done what you did, I never would have pointed a gun at that kid. You were so proud of your spotless record. And my case was the one blot on it, wasn't it? Only two people know the real truth, me and Detective Jard. I bet tonight's execution will be quite a relief to you, won't it? One of the people who know about the stain on your record will disappear for good. That's why you didn't help him escape from prison. That's the kind of guy you are.
Oof. I got nothing to say to you. You would never listen anyway. Man, that looks like very creepy from the inspector's perspective. It's like it's like one of those horror films where the ghost crawls towards you. It's the same thing. Ye gods!
Now then, Inspector. Time to make a big red stain on your spotless white coat. This was another condition of my deal. To wipe out everybody who knew about Temsik.
I wonder, did he shoot him in the face or did he shoot him in the chest?
Revenge? That's what I'm up to. None of this makes any sense.
Hey man! Mind telling me what's going on?
Inspector Cabanela is awake.
My head is spinning, baby! Am I to understand that Cabanela character who just got shot is me? I think there's another issue here. He wasn't sure he was Cabanela, but the form he took just now was Cabanela. Early on, some ghosts, when they don't realize who they are, they appear as a specter. They don't appear as a character.
That's right.
And you're supposed to be the scoundrel there who just shot me.
I guess so.
But you couldn't be, could you? After all, the guy in the red suit just walked out the door, right? So, who are you?
I guess I just have to face it. I'm not that Sissel guy. I'm somebody who's searching for himself. That's why I'm here to save you. At the very least, you have information about that guy in red. Information I need.
So you came on a rescue mission now, did you? Nothing like the sound of that, baby. Because there's a very important life here somewhere. A life valuable to this nation. Okay, so do your thing, baby. Okay, it's the same dialogue. So, are you a manipulator too?
I have Ghost Rick's powers of the dead, yeah, but I can't control living creatures.
Anywho, I think you better be very careful. That guy in red is a manipulator. Naturally, he knows about powers like yours. If he realizes you're here, things might get a little tricky. Sticky.
You're right, I better be careful.
Yeah, I remember this.
Look at him. There's that something emanating from his body. Is it really the sign of having special powers of the dead?
Okay, let me show you what happens if I fail. Or if I do something.
What's going on? I've never seen the ghost world like this.
I just was caught on purpose just now. Just to show it on stream. Though I probably will mess up in a bit.
So you're here, are you? He sensed my presence. I noticed you. You think you can stop me, do you? I don't know why you're wearing my face, but you might as well give up now. I control everything.
Yeah, I loved this part when I played it the first time.
Everything, including the life of this police inspector in white. Wait, don't shoot.
When I played this, I think it was actually also past midnight, like 2 AM, like it is now for me. Yeah, might as well do it stealthily. Yeah, the way they're doing it, he's noticing the player, but at the same time, you could argue he's noticing your character. But remember, we had to rely on... I forgot about that. Or do we... I think we don't. We can still do it. If I rock this when he gets knocked back... He doesn't see it.
Look at this place.
And yeah, it's technically not a fourth wall break because of that. He's technically just talking to Sissel. Yeah, I mean, I absolutely agree with you. It's one of those. Yeah, you could argue it's Sissel is just an avatar for the player, and he's not really seen by people. He's technically us. I think one reason why it feels like it's done well is the fact that they don't treat the whole idea of you being the player being a character as a plot twist, because that's how it's usually done, and that's how it's it doesn't really feel good. I'm trying to think of a game that did it that way, and it just didn't feel all that great. It usually feels like a gimmick when they say, "Oh, the player is a character. Oh, it was you." Can't remember a game. Yeah, I think it's a really well done thing. and they are varying the gameplay a little bit. Like you played several chapters where you're using the same powers, and the previous chapter introduces another character, and this chapter goes, well, yeah, you know what you've been doing all along, and nothing was stopping you. Well, now you have to think more carefully about what changes to do. The game kind of teased that earlier with Beauty, because she can sense when a ghost is nearby. But yeah, the game makes you think, okay, at some point I'm gonna have to work while she senses me, especially because she says the next time I can detect you, the girl dies. And you immediately think, okay, that's gonna happen right away. But then she goes away and someone else is the bigger threat in terms of detection. And it's a good way to do it. They are pointing you towards the idea of watching what you do, but they also mislead you by making you think of a completely different character. It's a good way to make the player forget a little bit that, you know, there is another power at play here. You see Missile and you go, okay, he has another power, but you don't think about all the things that haven't been explained so far. It's a good setup.
What in the world happened here?
I think I'm starting to remember. Something bad happened here, and now there's another death lying hidden here.
What? Another death?
Didn't I tell you from the start? Didn't I say there was a very important life, valuable to the nation here?
I thought you were talking about you.
I'm just a crazy character in a white coat, baby. Vision Man, no.
Hey, come to think of it, where is that old pigeon guy?
They killed Mike Tyson.
Excuse me. Are you awake?
Of course. I never sleep during work hours. Professor, do you recognize me? There's only one crazy character in a white coat that I know of.
He hasn't lost his memory.
I'm not the type who likes losing things. But never mind that. Cabanella, this is quite the surprising guest you brought with you. Pretending like he didn't just blow up the place.
Are you talking about me?
Oh, this is a different guy. And I'm his guest, actually. Said he came to rescue us. Unlike you, my sharp friend, he still hasn't gotten his memory back. Pitiful.
Ouch, that hurts. Anyway, now we'll be going back to 4 minutes before your death. In order to change your fate, that is.
But aren't we already in the past, man?
But we can go back even further. I've done it before. I still don't see a path to saving Inspector Cabanella. But if we go back further, maybe I'll find a lead.
Alright, let's go back. How many times do I have to tell you, Professor? This place is dangerous. Don't be daft. I can't leave now. He's completely dead. But just as I thought, I'm getting a reading. This is the source of his powers. If I remove it, he's not dead. He's just not there. The true form of the manipulator isn't something you can detect. It's a spirit. Ridiculous.
So you figured it all out, huh?
Now he rises like Dracula.
You're a clever man, Inspector Cabanela.
So it's really true. You're...
I wasted a lot of time tonight because of you, Inspector. It's all just like you said. I died 10 years ago. This body is just a vessel, a shell. I control everything. This shell, people. Just like I control the Justice Minister in Lynn.
You have a gun, use it. So it's true. You were manipulating my baby that time. You made her shoot your shell. But why? Why would you do a thing like that?
To create conclusive evidence, you know, on that security tape.
The police doesn't care about video evidence, buddy. Sorry to tell you.
Now she's a murderer too. She'll suffer just like Job did. Now then, Professor. I'm afraid it's time for you to die. I don't have any grudge against you. I'm even grateful to you.
Oh yeah? So why don't you let me live then?
I believe in this country forever tonight. But before I do, I need to erase all evidence that these powers of mine exist. Along with the contraption in this room. This time, the thing will work the way it was meant to, and it will all be over. Cupid won't turn this time. He'll shoot his little arrow this way.
Professor, look out! Dynamite, eh? When the devil did he put that there? He planned it all out from the start. He planned it all out tonight. Having my baby shoot him. Having his corpse disappear.
His corpse disappeared.
That medical examiner, remember him? He was a complete and utter imposter. Yes, I said before, a very strange thing that this game does. All the evil people have a different color. He said he was going to take the corpse back to the lab, but he had already made a deal with the manipulator to meet him and give him the body back. But I wasn't going to let that happen, baby. You saw through their plan, eh? I noticed right away the medical examiner didn't know the first thing about examining a body. I knew he was a fake, so I tracked him down and bought him off.
Bought him off.
I had him smuggle the corpse to this room. I thought we could find the source of his powers. Of course, never in my wildest dreams did I think his abilities were powers of the dead. Anyway, there isn't much time. He's leaving the country before dawn.
And I'm gonna follow him, of course, after I save you too. But something's been nagging in the back of my mind. I remember what Ray said to me tonight. He said that spirits cease to exist when the day breaks. But if that's true, how could a spirit from 10 years ago still be here?
No time for thinking now, baby. Action is the name of the game. Work your magic and take us back, even further into the past. Oh shit, I forgot to unmute myself. Foolish of you to say, too. How long was I muted for? Closed caption is also lagging behind, it seems. Foolish of you to say, too. If you stop the explosion, he'll just do me in some other way. Fair enough, then jump in there and take care of that man in red, would you?
I repeat, easy enough for you to say.
And most likely impossible to hoot. To boot. Why did I say hoot there? That huge explosion didn't even make him bat an eye. Well, what do you propose then, Prof? Pray tell. Your best bet is to save me during the explosion without him noticing.
Easy enough for you to say. Sheesh, what's with all these people?
Any hoot, jump in there and do something. Yeah, during the explosion, we're gonna open this and let him fall. I think that's the solution. It's been a while, 10 years. And I'm not talking about the incident where he got hit by a meteorite. I'm talking about how long it's been since I played this game. I think that's the trick. No, but it opens like... It doesn't open like those ones in the prison. It opens differently. It acts like a ramp. As you perhaps have already noticed, time is running out, baby.
Yeah, no perhaps about it. I know. But you know, there aren't a whole lot of things I can use my ghost tricks on in here.
It looks like it's all over.
Unless I find another path. I'm sort of at a deadlock here.
Sisal!
Hey, I know that voice.
Help me!
Where are you?
Find me! Before I'm carried away! Hmm? What's with the frail sounding call for help?
He's here somewhere.
A friend of yours.
Yep, a little guy that looks a little fragile. It has strength that would surprise you.
Well, he is asking you to find him. And before he's carried away, no less.
I'm almost out of time. Should I look for him?
Ciso!
There he is again.
Farewell! Sounds like your little pal was carried away.
Where was he?
Maybe you should have tried to find him somehow. Maybe you should have looked around, you know, from corner to corner, baby.
Now what? Maybe I should start over.
Yeah, I need to slide the screen around, not move, right? I think that was it. I feel sorry for these rats. I think it comes from down below. Yeah, I think he comes with the sewage. Yes, whatever. Okay. Damn it, I know. Contraption. There we go. Scar, help me, brother. Yes. Damn it. Let me look around. There he is. Yeah. Ciso, here I am.
Oh, hey, it's...
Missile!
What are you doing there?
You really have to ask? Seriously, are you really going there?
No, that's okay. Never mind. Anyway, I need your powers.
It's interesting how he gets an attitude over time in the game.
Will you help me out?
Of course! Here, let me come join you. Why did we need to look around for him? Hey, here I am, Ciso.
Now maybe things will flow in a new direction.
Even though the flow of the sewer is a little bit stinky. Okay, this point is not a fate change. Why do we get extra time? Well, it's not really extra time. It's just a change in... They wanted to give you a checkpoint. I get it, but it's just... The squeaky guys are making a fuss about something.
Cicero, my animal instincts are starting to surface.
If you mean you want to chase them, I think you have to be alive to do that. There must be some kind of rat feast in that trash can.
Those things usually make a bigger commotion than that.
A bigger commotion, eh?
Okay, let's stop that explosion.
No, we can't do that.
Okay, let's take care of that man in red then.
No, we can't do that either.
We can't do this, we can't do that. What can we do?
We let the explosion happen. Then we rescue the old pigeon guy without the man in red noticing. Your powers are the key to all of it, Miss Hall.
Oh, I don't know about that, but I'll do my best.
We're talking about a matter of seconds. We can't miss our chance.
I'm pretty sure the idea is to swap this with the trapdoor. Swap this, okay. Now they have a bigger commotion. The lid falls, I think. Oh, the whole thing topples over. Now that's what I'd call some proper commotion. They're making that trash can dance. Truth be told, I feel a bit like dancing now myself.
It's getting harder and harder to hold my wild instincts back.
What a dangerous bunch.
Eh. Okay, swap. Yeah, as soon as this topples over, we can swap it. Okay, I think we can need to wait a little bit. Damn it! Professor, look out! I should have swapped at that very instant. Yeah, I waited too long. We had the solution right there. Swap. Yes, yes, commotion. You feel like dancing. Dangerous bunch. Yes, I get the picture. You know, one issue I guess I find with this specific puzzle is you don't have all the pieces from the beginning. So if you're the kind who panics and restarts too early, you completely miss the part where Missile comes. There we go. How did Cabanela not die there? Immediately. He was almost as close as the professor. Sorry, little pigeon. It's for you, Inspector. I have a little job for you. I can't move. I think I have 4 or 5 broken bones. I don't mind. It won't prevent me from manipulating you. It might make it hurt a little bit when I move you, though. Quite a bit, actually. Damn you! And then at the end of the game, you find out that this pigeon is manipulating everyone. I can't believe it! You lot actually pulled it off! Sorry, Inspector Cabanela. I couldn't do anything to help you. And there I am, a poor, broken heap of arms and legs. But no matter, I enjoy the show. The magic disappearing act, that is. Nothing like it, baby. Yeah, except, unlike a normal magic trick, I'm the one that managed to vanish without a trace here. Hey, we did it. What's the matter? You look like you'd rather be dead. Not that you aren't. I was just remembering the fact that, right about now, the real me is giving the poor Justice Minister a real fright. Oh, that phone call. Yeah, he was pretty upset. Excuse me, mister. You really shouldn't be mean like that. And what's this lively little creature? Oh, this little doggy is the warrior who keeps Camilla safe. Or he would be if he was actually still full of life. Camilla! Gods in heaven, what a terrible thing! That poor little girl, taken hostage. It's a cruel twist of fate indeed. Wait just a minute, Miss Camilla is a hostage? Yes, we're sorry, little warrior. Miss Camilla, a hostage? What's a hostage? Anyway, Inspector Cabanela, it's time to save your life now. But you couldn't get very far when you tried before, am I right? This time it's different, right, Cecil? That's right, with us working together, it's a whole different situation. Yeah, Missile is still an idiot. Although, to be fair, he is a dog. And also is not familiar with hostages. We'll save the Inspector in white, and then we'll go rescue Camilla, okay? There is no way Cabanela is actually in white anymore. Surely in an explosion, he's gonna get some dirt on him, he is gonna get some blood on him. Hey, let's hurry up and get through this. Gee, kids, you're making me feel like an afterthought. Alright, let's get started. Inspector Cabanela is upstairs, so our first step is to get up there. Cecil, I'll go up first and wait for you. Yeah, show off. Okay, lovey-dove. We need your help. Carry this measuring device upstairs. It has Mr. Ghost in it, so don't drop it. Fly, you fool. Fly higher. There you are, Cecil.
Sorry for the wait, so. 4 minutes from now, the inspector will be killed by a gun.
You just jump in there and stop him from firing, would you?
There you go again with that stuff.
Besides, it doesn't make any sense. If you stop him from firing, he'll just kill you some other way. Okay, here's another problem. Or is it a problem? We went back to save the professor, but we went back when it was much later in this scene. Yet this protective helmet is hanging up there. The thing below us is still hanging up. So when we save somebody by going through multiple jumps, at what point are we actually going back to? When we did it for Lynn before, we went back before it all happened. Maybe? I don't know. It's not clear, because the only other example we have involves two very different locations. The park and the restaurant. I don't know. If you stop him from firing, he'll just kill you some other way. Part of me thinks, like, if we went back and saved the professor, we should be either at the point right after the explosion, or at the point where we went back where we went back in time downstairs. So, but this one is kind of between the two. But this is me being nitpicky. I don't really have much of a problem with it. It's a game. It's not gonna have a perfect thing. For gameplay purposes, sometimes you have to make a few leaps.
Wait a minute, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, same situation as mine. Your best bet this time around is to allow him to shoot and then save Cabanela without him noticing.
Dude, that's even worse than last time.
Anywho, jump in there and do something. Hey, I'm ready to jump in, Cecil. Don't forget, whenever you want to use my powers, just touch the pistol icon. Okay, so if I recall correctly, we have to swap the bullet with this. I could be misremembering it. I don't think I am. I don't think this matters. Oh no, I remember now. This thing will still kill him because it's a hard hat. But let's do it anyway. Just because we want to see him get smashed in the face. He's going to shoot! It's too late! Again? I'm going to get shot again? No, wait. Our chance is coming up. Last split second, right? Leave it to me! Ooh, would you look at that? The bullet is hanging in midair, between the gun and the inspector's forehead. Now's our chance. I'm hearing the bullet right now. Let's swap this little thing with something else. What?
It's our only hope. It's gotta be something here with the same shape and direction as the bullet.
I never saw a bullet before. That's such a cute little shape, doesn't it?
I can check out the bullet's shape on the top screen. Okay, I got it. Now I know what it's shaped like.
Still gonna kill him. Smash! I like this bit because you kill them in a very different way. In a way. It's fun. That didn't go well.
We tried swapping what we could find, but we just made things worse.
I'm pretty sure that's not actually worse than a bullet. It's more fun to watch, yes. But technically not really much worse than a bullet. The end result was the same. Immediate death. Not nice, kids. Not nice at all. You put a dent in my lovely mask.
I guess we better look for something softer to swap with.
Oh god, the dialogue again. Yes, there I am, Missile. Yeah. Okay, so if I recall correctly, when he gets shot, this thing is gonna get pushed to the right. And then when he comes back, I can jump to it. Once I jump to it, I can go to this beanie right here. I need to drop it on this, and then swap from there. This is me trying to remember. Alright, DeleTF, thanks for stopping by. I probably won't finish this today. I think I might go for another hour or so, and finish it tomorrow. I don't think this one matters. Nah, damn it. Missile just Move out. Okay. I think I spot the problem. Pretty sure I can't do it. Because I need to swap with a book first. Because it's gonna be flat. See that? Looks like the book. I can't swap it. Unless... Oh, I can swap it. Damn it, it needed to have fallen already. So close. Yeah, god damn it. Let me fast forward. Yeah, we can't move here until that thing falls. Drop this. Okay, now hurry up and shoot him. We already have the solution. Alright, let's swap. Go up. Jiggle this. Move it closer. Swap that. There we go. Done. Well, would you look at that? Right on the hook. I love knit hats. So warm. And most of all, soft. Hey now, that I'm looking at it. That hat is the same shape as the helmet you just knocked down. Yeah, obviously. Okay. We solved it. There we go. Swap. How does he not notice that? He looks down. He doesn't notice. I don't think he noticed. Looks like he pulled off another magic disappearing act. And now I say again, I love Nitaz. So warm and most of all, soft. Did I do it all right? You did a fine job, little one. You saved another life. Now keep doing it too. Over and over. What I saw in just these 4 minutes gave me all the answers I've been looking for. All our research these past 10 years pales in comparison. Right, Professor? So you two are working together. That's about the size of it, yeah. Who would believe a story about a manipulator? So we pursued it ourselves, just the two of us. I'm quite a crazy character myself, after all. Hey, let's hurry back to our time. We have to rescue Miss Camilla. You're right, Miss Al.
There's a certain guy I have to follow too. After completing his revenge on Inspector Cabanella, the man in red left, and now a new story is about to unfold in a new present.
How are you feeling, you old crazy character? Hey there, Prof! We're both alive, I see. Yeah, nothing like it, baby. But I don't know if I'm getting old or what. I've got a few aches and pains here and there. Used to be a little thing like an explosion, wouldn't bother. Yeah, right. Like I'm going to believe that. So what? The guy in red is gone, eh? Just in case, I posted special investigation units all around the building. Let's just pray the boys come through for us. Damn it, you picked a bad time not to listen to me, this buddy of mine. If I knew things were going to end up like this, I would have tried to die in that explosion, baby. That way, I could have been dancing after Big Red by now.
I might be able to raise deaths, but it's true I can't do much about injuries. But really, you shouldn't talk that way.
Yes, sorry. I suppose you're right. I just hate feeling so helpless. He was right there within my grasp. All our plans were resting on tonight. And then this had to happen.
I guess he's thinking about his father's record. It's not too late, Inspector. We still have a chance. Maybe I can catch him.
Say, you're right. That's not a bad idea. I'll cooperate with you fully. Go ahead and fire away with any questions you like, Mr. Ghost.
That guy mentioned revenge. Revenge against the people who stole his life away 10 years ago.
He's a fool. He's the one who made the decision to take that little girl hostage. And he wound up dead. He only has himself to blame.
What about when he said this? I was murdered by all of you. Detective Zhao, who forced me into a corner. Lin, the girl who was playing in the park. And finally, you, Inspector Cabanela. If you hadn't done what you did, I never would have pointed a gun at that kid.
Yes, 10 years ago, on that day, the Special Investigation Unit was working on a certain big case. We hauled in a young man, an important witness to the investigation. And then I did it. I made two very stupid mistakes. Detective, I'm telling you, I don't know anything about it. Fine. You're under no obligation to talk, of course. But if you don't, the Special Investigation Unit can make the rest of your life a living hell. As I said, this game doesn't make cops look good. But I've just been assigned to the Special Investigation Unit, you see? They didn't share much info on big cases with a newbie like me yet, and I wanted to impress them. It was only supposed to be a simple matter of taking a statement. But I was too greedy. I pushed him too hard, and I drove him into a corner and made him lose all hope. That was my first mistake. And then I made another mistake on top of that. Cabanela, got a minute? The chief wants to see you about your report. Got it. I'll be right there. You stay right here and be a good boy now. And that's when I did it. I left it behind in the interrogation room. My gun. How could you? He used my gun to escape. What he said is true. If I hadn't made that mistake, he never would have had a gun to point at Lin in the first place. We first found out about the manipulator's existence during a certain overseas communication. It reminds me of, the Bill Hicks bit with the pick up the gun. I don't want to, mister. If I pick it up, you're gonna shoot me. Pick up the gun. You saw it. He had a gun. Pretty much the same. We first found out about the manipulator's existence during a certain overseas communication. Overseas communication? For national security purposes, this country keeps tabs on the communication networks. This particular communication was about making a deal with a certain foreign country. He said he wanted them to buy him and his powers. That's how we first heard about him. Of course, we didn't know what he looked like at the time. And in order to prove these powers of his, he gave them two predictions. He foresaw two completely preposterous, impossible cases. The case of a man who would sing national secrets during a live rock concert broadcast, and the case of a man who would take the chief commissioner hostage in his own office.
There's two inmates of the special prison, eh?
We kept tabs on their communications and launched an investigation. And then finally, we pinpointed where they were going to meet tonight and staked it out.
That restaurant, the Chicken Kitchen.
The manipulator plans on leaving this country tonight on a submarine that belongs to the other country in this deal.
Submarine?
But we haven't been able to find out where it's going to surface. It's terrifying to think what would happen if his powers would fall into their hands. Right. Highly unlikely they would use him for peaceful purposes. And now they have that little girl as a hostage.
Camilla.
I don't know why he says something and then I basically make it even more obvious. Like, hey, he made two predictions. One guy with a rock concert and the other with the chief commissioner. Oh, they're talking about the two prisoners. Oh, now he has the little girl hostage.
Camilla.
Now I should have breakfast.
Food.
We have to stop him before he leaves the country.
The spotless record of yours. Is it really that important to you?
Of course, baby. In some ways, it's more important to me than my life.
Than your life, eh?
After all, it's because of my record that I'm able to get my hands on all intel as head of the Special Investigation Unit. And because of my position, I get to direct all aspects of the investigation into the manipulator case.
The manipulator case? That's why you cared about your record so much?
Of course! Why else, baby? I just never could believe it, man. Child shooting Alma. I didn't care that he confessed. There was definitely something more to the story. Some secret. Or the fact that 45% of cops in the USA have admitted to... well, not the cops. 45% of spouses of cops in the US have said they've been abused by their cop husband. So this one could be another one. I didn't care that he confessed. There was definitely something more to the story. Some secret. I did everything I could to climb the ladder. Everything in my power. And then I finally found the answer. It took 5 long years though. The manipulator. He's going to prove that Jowd is innocent.
What incredible determination. There is one thing I just don't understand. If you were so determined to help Detective Jowd, why didn't you help him escape from prison?
That's an easy one, baby. Escaping from prison is a crime. So is threatening a suspect. I wasn't about to help him commit a crime after spending 5 years trying to prove him innocent. And he himself asked to be executed, you know? As a man of the law, I had to make sure the execution was stopped legally. And that's why I brought him before the Justice Minister too. I needed to buy as much time as I possibly could, baby.
So that's it, eh? There's one little unfortunate result of all of this. Then completely I misunderstood your intentions.
Ha! What's a little misunderstanding? My baby will come around. Give it time. But there are more important things to do with our time tonight.
Mr. Superintendent, do you mind if I talk to you for a minute?
I haven't always been a junkyard superintendent, you know. I used to be part of the police.
The police, huh?
Not as a detective. But as a medical examiner, I investigated victims' cause of death. 10 years ago, I was asked to autopsy a strange corpse. Hit by a meteorite fragment and died instantly. That's what the police report said. Funny how this looks identical to the room in the prison. There were no signs of life. He was definitely dead. But I never filed an autopsy report. That's because the corpse suddenly vanished, leaving behind only one clue.
An unusual corpse. I bet that's what I've been chasing all night. Could you tell me more?
Yeah, sure. I have an interest in you, recovering your memory, and finding out your true identity too. That's the only way I can describe it too. It was an unusual corpse. He was dead, alright. No question about that. But there wasn't a scratch on him.
Not a scratch. I thought he was hit by a meteorite fragment.
I don't understand it any more than you do. I was completely bewildered. But when I tried to autopsy him, I was even more puzzled. I couldn't perform the autopsy.
You couldn't? What do you mean?
The scalpel went in, but I couldn't cut. As soon as I tried to make an incision, it would heal up in the very next instant. And that's how it went. And no scarring or blood either. And I never had the chance to solve the mystery. That's because the corpse up and vanished on us. The morgue is well guarded. Nobody could have stolen that body. But there is only one way the corpse could have disappeared.
What's that?
He just got up and left.
I live, I die, I live again.
It got up, opened the door, and walked out on its own.
What?
He was dead, but he wasn't dead. We saw it with our own eyes tonight. Not even an explosion could kill him.
And he didn't even feel it when he slammed his fist on that stove.
The corpse left behind some data from some testing I did. I got some readings for some kind of radiation coming off that body.
Radiation?
I used all kinds of instruments, but I couldn't determine exactly what kind of radiation it was. Some undiscovered type from a world unknown.
Wait a minute, could it be?
That's right. It was coming from that meteorite fragment.
Aliens.
I went to that park and tested the spot where the meteorite fell. And just as I expected, I detected radiation coming from that crater. So they knew there was radiation from the spot, and they didn't ban the public from entering that area, and then they wanted to build the housing stuff in the very same place. Sounds like a good government.
It was the exact same pattern of radiation as that of the corpse. At the time, I thought he was some kind of immortal being. He would die, only to come back to life. I wanted to research it all in depth, so I quit my job as a police medical examiner. Several years later, I came to learn of the connection between my research and the manipulator case, thanks to the arrival of this crazy character here.
Oh, stop! Now, Professor, do you want to see me blush?
It was about a year ago, I would say. This man in white came dancing into my research lab here.
I heard there was an oddball here who's researching Temsik. Is that you, baby?
Who are you to be calling anybody an oddball?
I was investigating the manipulator case then. And then I heard there was a man who had quit the police force to study the meteorite. When I heard that, it was like a meteorite had struck me on the head. At the time, we were just starting to get leads on this manipulator. We didn't know who he was yet, but we knew he was communicating with a certain foreign country. In one of those communications, we heard the manipulator say this: "The source of my power is not of this world." That's when I put two and two together, baby. The manipulator case and Temsik were somehow connected. I'm pretty sure there are other incidents that could have brought a power. He could connect the two, but he couldn't recognize the voice? The fuck? I thought he was beating himself up over that, the two mistakes he did in one case. But nope, he couldn't even remember the voice.
Which was also explained 5 years ago. He used his powers to manipulate a birthday surprise. A little girl made for her mother.
He added that gun to the contraption, most likely by controlling Camilla. So she did it. Told you she did it.
So that contraption in the basement here, you built that to try and help Detective Zhao.
That's right. Zhao and I worked together back when I was with the Force. I used the reports of his case to try and recreate the device. There was just one part of it that I couldn't reproduce, no matter how hard I tried.
Camilla told Zhao that did something it shouldn't have, made an impossible move.
I added that part to the device I recreated. I put in a part that would allow the Cupid to rotate. Otherwise, the gun wouldn't fire.
So that must mean somebody manipulated Camilla's contraption.
As a result, we proved to ourselves that the manipulator actually existed. But you didn't have the gun, you didn't really have the evidence. So it was all still conjecture, not proof.
Cabanela!
Hey, baby! Sorry about that phone call. I must have sounded like a real villain. I hate to spoil your image of me. Of that cool cat inspector you always looked up to.
Is that really the image she had of him?
Inspector Cabanela, I'm sorry. I just heard you were chasing after that man all this time to try and help Detective Jade.
This manipulator is such a dangerous character. I was hoping you didn't have to be involved.
So that's why you had me arrested tonight, isn't it?
Like I'll always say, if somebody's in the way, throw him in the slammer. Not enough times, but this game is not presenting cops in a good way.
Yikes.
You can say that again, Cecil. Tonight, I really thought we had him, but my body gave out on me right at the critical moment. It's like a cruel joke.
Ha ha ha. But a joke is a joke. You might as well laugh.
Jade!
The minister called off the execution order. And while he was at it, he let Detective Jade go free until tomorrow morning too.
That's a pretty extreme. While he was at it.
Sorry I took so long to get here. You can leave the rest to me.
There you go again. You've always been like that. You make everybody else run around and then you swoop in at the last second. Get out. 5 years ago, you left the scout with me just before you turned yourself in. I promised to give it back to you one day. Why is he working that pigeon? Just give it to him directly. I still prefer Pink Jade.
I've been waiting so long, Detective Jade. Waiting for this day to come.
Thanks for not giving up on me, Lynn. Okay, I'm off then.
Good luck, my friend. My old friend.
This present you gave me is just what I needed. Thank you.
Glad you like it. The animations in this game are really superb. Everyone who looks at it and doesn't know about the game, because these animations are pretty good for a DS game.
Cecil, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You and I have to go find that man. I need your help. Will you do this with me?
Sure, but how? We don't know where the submarine is, and the phone line doesn't work.
They use communication cables to make their calls. We'll get you hooked up somehow. You'll see. Could you wait here until we do, please?
Okay, fine. I'm counting on you.
It's true self you're looking for. I bet you'll find it soon.
Missile has been really quiet, hasn't he?
Alright, I'm leaving, Inspector Cabanela.
It's almost dawn. I'm not who I thought I was. I'm actually further from knowing who I am than ever. But now, I don't feel so alone. Each one of us, for his or her own reasons, is looking for the truth. Together, I think we can shed light on these
with these mysteries and drive away the darkness. It is almost dawn. It's almost me. Save. Okay, guys, I think I'm actually gonna call it here. I initially wanted to beat this game, but I didn't start early. I should be starting earlier. Eventually we will. But we should be able to finish tomorrow. If I recall correctly, as I said, it's 18 chapters. We have 3 chapters. Today we finished 3 as well. So there will be a lot of dialogue in the next 3 chapters, I believe. So let's do that tomorrow. Finish it and start something else. Whether we're gonna we'll finish this tomorrow, and then the stream after that we'll play something else. Okay. So thanks for everyone who dropped by. Much appreciated. I will catch you next time. There isn't anyone to raid, so I'm not raiding anyone today. See you.